Welcome to WrestleRecap. I am Dylan Graives, once again being joined by John Sutton, here to bring you the SummerSlam recap and review. Before we get into that, though, I got one thing to get into before I get into the other things that I get into in this intro. It is currently August 17th when I am recording this intro. We've had this SummerSlam recap recorded for a while now, and between myself being busy and now John is under the weather. He's been sick these last about a week or so. So I'm finally getting around to editing this. It'll be uploaded same day. As soon as I'm done editing it, I'm getting it uploaded to the channel. But we're going to be skipping forward to save from having a backlog of episodes that are going to be outdated a week before they even get uploaded. We're going to get out of this cycle, and we're just going to jump to right away being the next Monday Night Raw coming up here. So as I said, it's the 17th now, so it is Saturday, August 17th. The next episode that we post will be for the Monday Night Raw, that being August 19th edition. So unfortunately, we are going to skip a couple more episodes of television, but it'll make our lives easier. It'll get us back on track, and from there on, we should be able to keep the uploads on time, in a good manner, and coming out on the weekly basis. But with that out of the way, if you want to support WrestleRecap, you can like, share, and subscribe. You can comment down below and let us know how we're doing. And with all that said, and it was a lot to be said, let's get into it. So SummerSlam is live from Cleveland Browns Stadium in none other than Cleveland, Ohio, the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Triple H comes out to start the show, and he welcomes us to SummerSlam, and then passes it back over to Jelly Roll, who performs Liar live. And while he's performing, we get a nice video package for the matches that lie ahead. Then The Miz, he's out in the crowd. He's the host tonight. Once again, the host really doesn't do a whole lot.
I thought he was hosting at his house.
Well, I mean, apparently he got the keys from Baker Mayfield.
Interesting.
Yeah, but you know what he didn't do?
Don't bring the hors d'oeuvres.
Yeah, man never had the hors d'oeuvres.
We need a follow-up on Raw.
I mean, I want to know where these hors d'oeuvres were. They didn't shy away from doing like backstage segments during the PLE. Why was there no backstage segment of the hors d'oeuvres? Like, the people need to know. Where were the hors d'oeuvres, Miz?
Yeah.
On commentary tonight, we got Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Pat McAfee. And we kick the night off with the Women's World Championship match. Rhea Ripley with Dirty Dominic Mysterio taking on Liv Morgan. Rhea links up with Dom backstage before they head out to the ring. They show us that referee Eddie Arango will be officiating, and he will also be wearing the ref cam. So that should be interesting.
That's a thing.
Yeah. Michael Cole tells us that Rhea's last one-on-one loss was 26 months ago to none other than Liv Morgan. Long-term storytelling, folks.
Shall history repeat itself?
We got Samantha Irvin on introductions this evening, and they reference the custody of Dominic Mysterio match that also took place at SummerSlam.
Yeah.
To start the match, Liv flees from the ring and continues to play cat and mouse with Rhea until Rhea fakes her out. And Green Shirt Guy is here once again. So, per usual, shout out Green Shirt Guy. We see you.
We always
Yep.
see you.
Even when you were in the white shirt, we still saw you. The hat gives it away. You wear the same hat, too. Rhea takes Liv down with a set of 3 clotheslines and hits a half and half suplex. She then goes over to lick Dom in front of Liv. I mean, that's a choice. Not one I would make personally, but it's a choice nonetheless.
At least she didn't eat an apple that fell on the mat.
I mean, in a moment we'll get into Pat McAfee's interpretation of what Dom is, and I would guess that it's not much better than the apple off the mat. Rhea smashes Liv's head on the steps, and Pat McAfee starts to tell us what he thinks of Dom. He refers to Dom as a dude wipe after you've used it to wipe your shit.
He's right, though. He's very right, though.
No comment. Rhea hits a headbutt and a very lousy riptide on the top turnbuckle. And she goes for another riptide, but Liv escapes and flees to the corner. Liv proceeds to post Rhea twice, and Rhea starts yelling that it's out, seemingly meaning her shoulder being dislocated, but she doesn't want to stop the match. Liv kicks Rhea into the steps and rolls Rhea back into the ring and pins her for a near fall. Liv begins targeting the shoulder here, and she hits an arm drag, followed by a pin for 2. The crowd is split on the match with a "Let's go Rhea, let's go Liv" chant. So those matches are always fun when you got a good split in the crowd. Liv hits a rope-assisted code breaker to Rhea's shoulder, and Rhea takes Liv down with a big boot. Liv goes for a S-dive, but Dom shoves Rhea out of the way to take the hit. Finally, Rhea's had enough, and she just shoves her shoulder into the announce table to seemingly pop it back into place. Rhea ends up hitting a shotgun drop kick and a slam for a near fall. But Liv counters the riptide and turns it into a DDT. But Rhea drags Liv down from up top and locks in the prism lock. However, Liv rolls through, sending Rhea into the corner. Liv hits a crucifix driver for 2. And she goes for an armbar, but Rhea keeps her fingers locked to hang on and keep it from being locked in. Rhea eventually powers out and turns this into a powerbomb for a 2 for a near fall. Rhea starts talking some shit to Liv, and Liv hits her with a headbutt, the ever-defiant champion. Liv hits a hot shot and goes to get a chair because, champion's advantage. Can't lose the title via DQ. I mean, it's a solid play. I would argue not nearly as solid as the classic Randy Orton play where you just slap the ref to get disqualified, but hey, using a steel chair works too.
Yep.
Rhea rams her shoulder into the corner a couple times to get her shoulder back in place again before kicking Liv and hitting her with a riptide. Rhea goes to hit Liv with the chair, but Dom stops her and takes the chair from her, telling her that she can't win the title like that. Rhea's obviously upset because she wanted to use the chair, but she ultimately comes to the conclusion that Dom is right, and she needs to stay focused. But Liv drop kicks Rhea into Dom, and then hits her with an Oblivion for 2. Rhea is over on the ropes, and Dom goes over and slides the chair back into the ring and seemingly motions to Liv before distracting the ref. allowing Liv to hit yet another Oblivion, this time onto the steel chair to pick up the win. They show us some footage with the ref cam, and all I got to say about that is that the ref cam would be absolutely nauseating to have to watch. Like, I cannot imagine having to be the person that has to sit behind the scenes staring at this monitor the whole time.
And then I have to pick the highlights out.
Yeah. Like, it would be absolutely nauseating.
It's gotta have a strong stomach and not a lot of motion sickness, I guess.
For sure. In the post-match, Dom picks Liv up on the outside, gives her a big ol' kiss in front of Rhea, and then they leave together before we head into the first ad break of the night, because, you know, no matter what, even if you have Peacock Premium, WWE's got you. They'll come through with them ads.
It'd be better if it was a dance break.
Or, you know, a sneak peek of Pretty Deadly, the musical.
It's still in the works. Can't do it yet.
It's still budgeting. But talking about this match, I would say overall it was good. The riptide to the top turnbuckle was, as I said, quite lousy. It was very slow. Like, they were trying to make sure that they didn't screw it up. Parts of the match didn't really feel like they were flowing very good. But ultimately, it was a match that was... what's the word? I want to say absorbed, but that's not the proper wording. Basically, it was... The match was surrounded by an overbearing story. So it's not always about the quality of the match. Sometimes it's the quality of the storytelling. And I think the storytelling in this match was pretty good.
This was never about the match. I knew that going into it. I just didn't know how it was going to end, I guess. If Dom was just going to help Rhea or if he was actually going to betray her, which...
Oh, come on. You couldn't see that coming?
Well, I don't know. I guess I hadn't really paid that much attention towards the end, I guess. But either way, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was an overall solid match. Looking at our predictions, we both predicted Liv Morgan to win. So obviously you did kind of see which way it was going. So we'll each get a point.
The match-wise.
Yeah, we'll each get a point for that one. On the other side of the ad break, we see backstage in the Judgment Day's clubhouse. At least one of the many, since they always have one no matter where they are. Damian Priest bursts into the clubhouse looking for Dom, and he asks if Finn knew, but Finn says he didn't. And obviously there is some very clear tension here.
I can feel the tension. You could cut it with a knife.
Oh, for sure. But we got a lot of show left before we get it into the other part of the Judgment Day story tonight. And next up was the Intercontinental Championship match, which sees Braun Breaker challenging Sami Zayn. The dogs were barking in Cleveland because, you know, they were in the dog pound. Braun goes for a spear right out of the gate and ends up posting himself because Sami dodges it. Sami flies over the top rope to take out Braun. Braun dodges a diving nothing and hits a clothesline in the corner. He dodges the haluva kick and gets Sami up, but his arm gives out on him. Sami rolls him up for a near fall, but Braun hits a massive clothesline. Sammy goes for the exploder in the corner, but Braun stops it and takes Sammy up top. Sammy knocks him down with an elbow, but Braun will not be deterred as he hits the Breakensteiner for a near fall. Braun keeps telling Sammy to quit, so Sammy slaps him yet again, the ever-defiant champion. Sammy starts rolling after this, and he goes for the blue Thunderbomb, but Braun counters it. Sammy ends up lifting Braun up, but Braun escapes over backwards, barely getting enough rotation to not fall on his head. And even still, it was like he landed on his knees and forehead. Head, shoulders, knees, and toes, all hitting at the same time.
Knees and toes.
Yeah. Braun goes for a diving bulldog, but Sammy catches him and hits the blue Thunderbomb for 2. Let's be honest, the move never wins the match. Braun hits a jumping knee, and Sammy hits the corner exploder and sets up for the Aluva kick, but Braun cuts him in half with a spear and drops the straps because he ain't done yet. Braun runs the ropes and cuts Sammy in half yet again with another spear to pick up the win, and the dogs are barking as Braun Breaker becomes the Intercontinental Champion.
Finally! The Steiners must be proud.
Well, Scott Steiner was in attendance this evening. They did show on him up in the Legends booth. I do not recall if Rick Steiner was there.
I thought there were 3 of them there.
Well, there were other people there.
Yeah.
And obviously, Rick Steiner would be Braun's dad, so I mean, I'm sure he was probably there. But Scott Steiner is a lot easier to pick out of the crowd with his mixture of blonde and... You didn't hear that.
Oh, we heard it.
Dropped my pen. But Scott Steiner's obviously easier to pick out of the crowd, you know, with his extraordinary math skills. If you know, you know. Most people do. I feel like there's a pretty good chance that you don't.
I literally just watched the thing the other day.
Oh, so you do know about Steiner math. Okay.
Yeah.
But
there's like a 163% chance.
Following this, we head into another ad break. And when we come back, we see that Stephanie McMahon is in attendance tonight. I guess I just kind of assumed she was probably in attendance for all the PLEs, not gonna lie.
Seeing that her husband's head of creative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But next, it's time to get into the United States Championship match, where Logan Paul will look to defend against L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
During his entrance, Logan Paul reveals that one of the security guards is actually MGK. Sorry, I just threw up in my mouth a little bit.
Me too.
Yeah. MGK and Logan Paul at the same time? Come on. Why do you hate us?
In Cleveland?
It's beside the point.
What's next? You're going to have SummerSlam in their stadium?
LA Knight arrives in the very discreetly logoed Prime truck. But he said that he's had trouble seeing out of the one window, so he's going to fix that. And he smashes the driver's side door window. We then also see on MGK again. And this man is dressed like every douchebag from the mid-2000s.
It's because he is.
Yeah, feels pretty fitting. Logan Paul takes a cheap shot on LA Knight before the match can even get underway, and they brawl outside the ring. Logan Paul hits a headbutt, and LA Knight sends Logan into the barricade. LA Knight sends Logan Paul into the hydration station before using the cart as a weapon. Paul then spits some prime in Knight's face before running him into the apron and landing some punches. Logan Paul clears the announce table, but LA Knight smashes his head off of it 10 times. Gotta get them yeahs in.
Yeah.
LA Knight uses a bottle of prime as a weapon, and he hits a neck breaker on the announce table. Keep in mind, this is all prior to the match even starting, because then LA Knight rolls Logan Paul into the ring so that the match can finally begin. LA Knight hits an inverted atomic drop and a clothesline for 2. Logan Paul escapes a back suplex and posts LA Knight, and then he posts him again. Knight sends Paul into the corner, but Logan Paul fires out with a clothesline, and he hits a big boot and a leg drop for a near fall. They shove each other a bit and trade punches before Logan Paul hits a gut-wrench suplex for 2. Logan Paul hits the overbomb for another near fall, and he mocks LA Knight before running into a pop-up power slam. LA Knight sends Logan Paul into the corner and stomps a mud hole in him before hitting a running knee. LA Knight hits a side effect, which, call me crazy, call it a conspiracy, but the Hardys were in Cleveland, reportedly, talking with WWE officials. LA Knight does the side effect, which is one of Matt Hardy's moves. And there's another reference to the Hardys at some point in the show that I don't think I put in my notes because I didn't want to make it an ordeal. But I'm making it an ordeal. Could the Hardys be coming back to WWE yet again?
Doubtful.
Is it, though?
I thought they were happy in Impact.
They're
Aren't they in
in
Impact?
TNA, but,
Yeah.
NXTNA. Matt Hardy said that they've won a lot of tag championships, but they've never won the NXT Tag Team Championships. Could be looking to
We'll
change
see.
that. LA Knight hits an elbow drop for 2, and he lifts Logan Paul up, but Logan Paul escapes and takes him down with a springboard clothesline. Paul hits a springboard moonsault to the outside, and my God, was that absolutely insane. Like, I know it was just a springboard moonsault, but the way he did it was so smooth and unique. Like, starting facing frontwards, jumping up, doing the 180 while jumping, and then jumping off the rope to hit the moonsault. I hate how good this guy is.
He also had to jump pretty far just to land on Knight.
Yeah. Like, God, I hate how good he is in the ring. I also hate the fact that he's probably going to end up being a world champion at some point.
Yeah. Maybe he's the one that defeat Gunther.
Nah. If anything, I think Logan Paul could win Money in the Bank next year, and then that sets him down the path to holding a world title, even if it's for a short time.
Yeah, we'll have to see.
Yep. That's Czech's non-existent watch, like 8 months away. Probably more. Probably like 10 or 11 months away. But Logan Paul goes for the KO punch, but LA Knight dodges it and goes for the BFT. However, Logan Paul counters that into a roll-up for 2. Logan Paul lands the KO punch, but he only gets a near fall out of it. LA Knight dodges the frog splash and goes up for the BFT, but Logan Paul dodges it yet again. Paul goes up top, but Knight meets him up there and hits a very scary superplex for 2. Like, I don't know what they were doing. Mainly Logan Paul. It looks like he did not take the move correctly. Like, he kept his legs scrunched up. I don't know. But this looked like it was very close to a broken neck.
But it wasn't, so we're fine.
But it wasn't. Paul rakes LA Knight's eyes and calls for the brass knucks. LA Knight hits Logan Paul with a drop kick through the ropes, and Knight drags Logan Paul's buddies over the barricade to beat him up. MGK jumps the barricade and gives Logan a set of brass knuckles. Knight lifts Logan Paul up, but Paul hits him with the knucks, and he goes for his clothesline, but LA Knight counters it and hits the BFT to pick up the win. Your new United States champion, LA Knight.
Yeah. Gateway to being a big champion.
Hopefully.
Hopefully you can stay hot. I mean, it's been almost a year now since... maybe more than that now. But hopefully you can stay hot and get a world champion in now after his run with this.
Yeah, for sure. I guess we didn't take a moment to really discuss the IC title match.
I think we're just happy Sami Zayn didn't cut a promo.
I mean, it could have happened. You fall
didn't.
asleep during the Final Testament. I fall asleep during a Sami Zayn promo.
A promo?
A promo, yep.
Never heard of one.
See, it's when you spell something else wrong.
Ah.
Yeah. But the U.S. title match, I mean, obviously it was a wild match. The brawling before the match even started. The Logan Paul theatrics of it all. I mean, it seems like every time Logan Paul's in the ring, it's a 4-star or better match.
Yeah, it was definitely an insane match. And you get him in the ring with, one of the better wrestlers in the company. That's going to be... Ugh. I mean, look at what him and Ricochet did in a little spot at the Royal Rumble. That's insane. Imagine that for a whole match.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Logan Paul's definitely got a good future in the industry. It all just comes down to how much he's willing to commit to it. Following the match, we get yet another ad break. And I gotta say, I could have gone my whole life without seeing Otis shave his stomach in the Manscaped ad.
It's a large stomach.
Following the ad break, it's time to get into the WWE Women's Championship match, where Queen Nia challenges the champion Bayley. Bayley came out wearing her older style attire, but still no Bayley buddies.
No Bayley buddies.
Still a trash entrance theme.
And a whole lot of cake. Oh, like you.
As the match gets underway, Bayley goes right after Nia, but Nia goes for a powerbomb, but Bayley turns it into a jawbreaker. Nia hits a Samoan drop, followed by an elbow drop, and she does a stink face before locking in a Cobra clutch. Bayley hits a flying forearm, and Nia goes for the leg drop onto the apron, but Bayley dodges it. Bayley rolls Nia back in and goes up top, but Nia knocks her feet out from under her. Nia goes for a stalling vertical suplex, but Bayley turns it into a guillotine choke submission. Bayley defeated Nia with this move previously, but not this time, as Nia escapes with a front suplex slam before hitting a rolling senton and another leg drop for a near fall. Nia goes to the second rope for another leg drop, but Bayley dodges it. My hole! And hits a Bayley to belly for 2. Bayley goes for the rose plant, but Nia counters and goes for a power slam. However, Bayley escapes with an arm drag before running into a Uranagi. Nia hits the Annihilator for a near fall. Nia charges towards Bayley in the corner, but Bayley dodges it, causing Nia to post herself. Bayley goes for a S-dive, but Nia catches her and turns it into a Samoan drop on the outside. Nia hits a corner splash, followed by a hip press before going for the Annihilator. Bayley picks Nia up off the ropes and hits a powerbomb. Yeah. The crowd chants, holy shit, and yeah, holy shit.
Is right.
Like, it wasn't one of them power bombs where the person, like, just pushes off and we talk about, or they like talk about how much of a feat of strength it was. Like, nah, Bayley picked her up, took multiple steps forward, and then slammed her down. Like,
Yeah, she's got core strength, that's for sure.
yeah. Bayley hits her elbow drop for a near fall, and then Tiffany Stratton comes running out to cash in, but Bayley knocks her off of the apron. Nia takes advantage of the distraction, and Bayley turns it into a pin for 2. Nia catches Bayley for a pop-up powerbomb, followed by a second powerbomb, and then 2 Annihilators because 1 wasn't good enough. And Nia picks up the win. Your new WWE Women's Champion, Nia Jax. I noted that I can't wait to hear Stratton's explanation to Nia, but then, wait a minute. Stratton is celebrating with Nia? Perhaps a plan all along? ?
She's got something up her sleeve. Nia loses it just for Stratton to throw the briefcase at her so she could use it to get her belt back, even though she has a rematch clause.
Well, does she? People haven't been getting rematches lately.
I
don't know.
I don't make the rules.
I might just be that late to the party, but I don't know. It seems like people don't get rematches anymore. I mean, Becky got a rematch.
The only rematch I've seen is Braun Breaker, and he lost the first time. Straight up.
But, like, Becky got a rematch after Liv beat her. But, well, let's think.
Rhea technically got a rematch.
Well, yeah, long form, but she also technically never lost the title. Gunther never got a rematch for the IC title.
Probably wasn't interested anyways.
Seth never got a rematch for the World Heavyweight Championship, though he kind of did, but not really. Like, not in the sense of how everything happened.
Yeah.
Roman never got a rematch, which possibly could still happen, but doubt it. Judgment Day never really got their rematch for either set of the titles until Liv made it happen.
Oh, they're a bunch of misfits anyways.
Awesome Truth never got a rematch for their titles. A-Town Down Under got a rematch for theirs. Yeah, I don't know. It's a new era.
It's a new era.
But looking back at the predictions, we always forget to look back at the predictions until I remember after a couple matches. But we both predicted Braun Breaker to walk out IC champ, and we both get a point. We also both predicted L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
To walk out U.S. champ, so we both get a point for that. And we also both predicted that Queen Nia would become champion Nia, so we each get a point for that. You know what we don't get a point for?
What?
This ad break.
Damn it.
Following the ad break, it is time to get into what could have been in a card full of title matches, being the only non-title match on the card. This could have been the main event of the evening, and I don't think anybody would have gone home upset about it. But Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk with Seth Rollins as the special guest referee.
True. With the ref cam.
With a ref cam. Michael Cole asks if Seth Rollins is the referee or Beetlejuice. And then, yes, I do have in here that Seth has the ref cam on. Punk threw his sweatshirt at Seth, so Seth proceeded to wipe his ass with it before throwing it out of the ring. Used it as a dude wipe.
And then it looked like Dominic Mysterio afterwards.
Yeah, see? Makes perfect sense. Seth backs him up and then hesitates before calling for the bell. They trade punches before Punk gets Drew in the corner. Seth backs Punk out of the corner and they bicker a bit, allowing Drew to take advantage. And then we just repeat the situation, but switch up the roles. So Drew gets Punk in the corner, Seth backs him out, they bicker, and then Punk comes in to take advantage. Punk clotheslines Drew out of the ring and hits a diving clothesline from the apron to the floor. Punk posts Drew and sends Drew into the timekeeper's area before hitting a diving axe handle. While all of this is going on outside the ring, normal referee, they'd be, working on that 10 count. Special guest referee Seth Rollins, chilling in the corner.
Jay chilling, doing what he needs to do.
Yep, he's just big chilling, letting them fight it out. Punk bangs Drew's head off the steps, and Seth loves what he's seen. Punk is in control till Drew sweeps his legs and swings Punk into the announce table twice. Drew slingshots Punk into the metal ring supports and maintains control as they get back into the ring. Drew hits a snap suplex, but Punk kicks out before Seth can even get to one. Drew hits a release, belly to belly, and Punk kicks out again before Seth can even count to one. Punk hits his combination of strikes and goes for the knee in the corner, but Drew catches him and turns it into a power bomb for, yet again, only 1. Drew hits a sit-out power bomb, this time getting to 2. Drew keeps getting mad at Seth, but I think Seth has been fair thus far. He's not counted anything slower than anything else. Like, he's maybe not as Johnny on the spot as a normal ref would be, but all things considered, I would say that every single time that there's been a pinfall attempt, he has counted it the same way each time.
Yeah, I thought so too. It kind of looked like a just a regular, well, not a regular ref, but he was just Jay chilling, letting them do their own thing, kind of like hoping they'd both get knocked out.
Yeah. 2 birds, 1 stone.
3 stone birds, what?
Drew grabs a steel chair, and Drew tells Seth to just look away. So Seth does, for a moment, before he grabs the chair out of Drew's hands. Drew shoves Seth, so Seth goes for a chair shot to Drew, but Drew ducks it, and Seth almost hits Punk, but he gets stopped in time. Seth steps aside to toss the chair out and breathe for a second, and meanwhile behind him, Punk rolls Drew up in an O'Connor roll for roughly a 5 count per the counting of the fans, but Seth only turns around and gets to 2 before Drew kicks out. Drew hits the neck breaker followed by a kip up, and he puts the bracelet, he digs the bracelet out of his trunks from down by his dick, and he puts it on before going for a claymore, but Punk catches him with a kick. Punk hits the arm trap neck breaker followed by 3 running knees in the corner and his patented clothesline afterwards. Punk hits his elbow drop for a near fall and immediately goes for the Anaconda Vice and gets it locked in. Punk releases the Vice, though, to get the bracelet off of Drew's wrist. Drew hits a Claymore for a near fall, and since the bracelet was laying on the mat, Seth picks it up as the referee and puts it on his arm. You know, no big deal. Typical referee stuff. Nothing to be concerned about.
Let's just not have the referee there until he actually needs to count 3 at the end.
What's that?
I said maybe they should have just had no referee until it was actually needed at the end.
So how would you make
Just
that work?
Just 2 guys fighting it out, and then when one covers him after his finisher, the referee comes out, and then that, I don't know.
Did you see how long that ramp was?
Yeah, we get the classic referee running in.
The classic Charles Robinson running
Yeah.
a quarter mile?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, pass. Drew sets up for the Future Shock DDT, but Punk escapes, and Drew posts himself after charging after Punk. Punk goes for the GTS, but he realizes that Seth is wearing the bracelet, so he lets Drew down, or drops him to go confront Seth about it. Drew takes advantage of this and hits Punk from behind, sending him into Seth, who gets launched out of the ring. Drew once again goes for the Future Shock DDT, but Punk hits the GTS and pins Drew for a 10 count per the fans in attendance. But by the time Seth gets in to count, Drew kicks out at 2. Punk calls Seth as good of a ref as he is a wrestler and asks if Seth is messing with him. Once again, Seth's been pretty fair.
He's
Seth,
like, what did I do? I got pushed out of the ring.
Seth and Punk exchange words, with Seth telling Punk that this is his ring, his rules, his company, and they don't need or want him here. And not everything is about Punk. Seth tells Punk to focus on Drew. Punk starts to turn to walk or like to go towards Drew, but it was a psych because he picks Rollins up and hits the GTS and tells him that it ain't always about him, but it's never about Seth. Punk takes the bracelet back and puts it on, and he goes back to Drew, but Drew hits a low blow before hitting a Claymore to pick up the win. I got on here that Seth leaves taking the ref shirt off because I was expecting him to take the ref shirt off and then rush the ring and attack probably CM Punk, I guess. But obviously that didn't happen. Instead, we got to see Drew taking the bracelet back off of CM Punk's arm before leaving. I mean, this was a solid match.
Yeah, now they can probably, you think they'll stretch it out till WrestleMania or no? Or do you think it ends at Royal Rumble or Bad Blood's back,
Honestly,
right?
for the storytelling, I would say this ends at the Rumble. It ends where it started.
Yeah.
But that kind of interferes with the whole Royal Rumble thing. Typically, the matches that occur at the Rumble are never that grand of matches outside of the 2 Rumble matches. So, I don't know. From a storytelling standpoint, I would love to see this go all the way back to the Royal Rumble so that they can end it where they started. However, I would also like to see a triple threat with these 3. Maybe that happens at Bad Blood.
That'd be good for me. I'd be happy. Happy,
Yeah.
happy, happy.
I mean, there's so many PLEs going on that I think the best way to go about doing the storytelling is to get your stories set up so that they have a PLE match and then you skip the next one and then have another have the story come to a match every other kind of thing. That way there's plenty of time in between the PLE matches, because it seems like we're getting a PLE every like 3 weeks. And 4 weeks is already a tight window to build anything to make it like
True.
not just a boring story. So I think the way to do this with the format that they seem to want to do, which is just PLEs constantly, what they need to do is stay on the trend of letting the stories run across every other PLE.
I think they've done a great job of not having the same people wrestle the next card. I think they've done their fair share of shaking it up.
Yeah, I mean they've been doing pretty decent to keep the PLE cards fresh and interesting, but there's only so many stories to tell in such a short amount of time.
Yeah.
So the longer that they can fill the weekly shows with these interesting stories and then have them like hit like that first initial peak, the second peak, the third, fourth, whatever, however long this is going to go for before it finally hits that climax, I think it's better to not have them coming to a head on one of those peaks every 3 to 4 weeks. Like push it out to 6 to 8 weeks that gives plenty of time for them to have in-ring segments, promos, like match interferences, whatever it may be.
I think they've done a pretty decent job of that so far.
Right.
Hasn't really been crammed. I mean, shit, the Bloodline story's been going on for years now.
Yeah. But they don't fight every single week.
No.
And
That's what I'm saying.
The Sammy and Chad Gable feud was getting to the point where it was so stale because we were seeing it. We would see them fight on a Raw, then they'd go fight at the PLE, then they'd fight on a Raw again, and then fight at the PLE. Like, I'm still questioning the move of not putting the title on Gable and instead putting him in with the Wyatt Six, but I'm along for the ride at this point.
It's still going to be good no matter what. I don't know. There's too many people that are, that could battle for the titles and whatnot that also deserve them, I guess they think so.
Yeah, I mean, they've been keeping stuff interesting.
And it could have been pivoted once Braun Breaker got that heat-seeking missile after his first, 2 matches.
Checking in on our predictions. You predicted Drew McIntyre to win the match. Meanwhile, I predicted it to go to a no finish. So unfortunately, I do not get a point there. You do, though. So that's going to put you so far 1 point ahead.
Wahoo!
Following the match, we get yet another ad break. And then we head back to the Judgment Day's clubhouse yet again, where Damian Priest is getting ready for his match. Finn comes in and says he looked everywhere and can't find Dom. And Priest apologizes for earlier, but Finn says that it's water under the bridge because the Judgment Day comes first. Finn says that he knows Priest said he don't want Finn out there, but if he changes his mind, all he's got to do is say the word. Priest gets ready and goes to head towards Gorilla. It's now time for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship match, where the King of the Ring, the Ring General, Gunther, challenges the the defending champion, Damian Priest. Priest starts strong with a flurry of punches and a corner splash. But Gunther counters the South of Heaven chokeslam and lands a few chops before Priest hits a flatliner, leading to Gunther fleeing to the outside. Priest sets up for a Razor's Edge, but Gunther runs him back into the ring post and into the apron. Gunther takes control back in the ring and hits a scoop slam. Damian Priest fights back into it, though, and tries for a suplex, but Gunther stops it and hits a chicken wing suplex for 1. Gunther goes up top, but Priest catches him with a right. They trade blows while Gunther is still up top, and Priest goes up for a superplex, but Gunther knocks him down. Priest lands a kick and goes back up and ends up hitting a Hurricane Rana, followed by a Falcon Arrow for 2. Priest maintains control until they trade strikes yet again. Priest goes for a corner splash, but Gunther dodges, causing Priest to bounce his head off the top of the ring post. Gunther hits his powerbomb for a near fall, and he goes for another powerbomb, but Priest escapes and hits a spinning kick, followed by South of Heaven for a near fall of his own. Priest sets up for the Razor's Edge, but Gunther counters it. And Gunther goes for the sleeper hold, but Priest arm drags his way out of it pretty much right away and goes for another spinning kick, but Gunther catches his leg and hits a T-bone suplex, followed by a massive clothesline. Gunther hits another clothesline for a near fall, And I can honestly say at this point that I still had no idea which way this match was going to go. Coming into it, it was a giant question mark as to if Gunther won here or if they did something weird with the Judgment Day to then give Gunther another shot at it at the Bash in Berlin. But nonetheless, I was still undecided on how I expected this to actually go. Damian Priest remains defiant, the ever-defiant champion once again, and refuses to stay down. Finn Balor comes out to ringside. This would prove to be a real difference maker in the end. Priest tries to fight back, but he's still fighting from the ground. And Gunther continues to beat Priest down before turning his attention to Finn. Gunther kicks Finn down, which fires Priest up. Priest drops the straps and hits a massive clothesline. Priest hits the Razor's Edge and a South of Heaven chokeslam for 2, but Finn Balor put Gunther's foot on the bottom rope, which caused the ref to stop it too. The implosion of the Judgment Day is official. Priest sees the replay on the Tron and goes to confront Finn, but Gunther locks in the sleeper hold. And with Finn watching, Priest fights out and pins Gunther for 2. Priest immediately goes after Finn again, but Gunther grabs him and hits a powerbomb before locking in the sleeper again. This time, Priest isn't able to power out, and instead he passes out. Gunther wins, becoming the new World Heavyweight Champion. And he just puts the title on his waist with complete and total ease. How do they do that so easily? Like, I've tried to do it with my replica belt, and it is a pain to get those snaps snapped. And these guys, I've seen Bailey do it like effortlessly. I also noted here with the ending that every single one of Damian Priest's championship matches have an asterisk by them, including his loss.
Yeah.
He either had help winning the title, help defending the title, or in this case,
help losing
it. Yep.
And now we get to see what he can do on his own. Well, maybe, if he doesn't find another Judgment Day. Because now it's just awkward.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming he'll still be partnered with Rhea.
Somehow, I guess, but I just don't know what they'd do together. I don't know, we'll see what happens on Raw.
Yeah.
Or react to it, I guess.
Yep. Looking at our predictions, I predicted Gunther to win. However, I predicted him to win via disqualification. So I'm only getting half a point there. You, on the other hand, predicted Gunther to win via Judgment Day shenanigans, which definitely happened. That definitely qualifies as Judgment Day shenanigans. So not only do you get the point, but you also get that extra half a point.
That'll be annoying to stare at for you.
Why?
That's an extra half a point for me.
As we keep rolling, though, we hit another ad break. And then when we come back from the ad break, Awesome Truth is in the ring. And The Miz says, The Miz tells Cleveland that SummerSlam is in their house. I thought it was Baker Mayfield's house.
That's too big of a house, Miz.
I don't know. Truth says that Miz got a big house. and he wonders how many people are there. But you don't have to wonder for long because Miz has the answer. They've set a SummerSlam attendance record for America with 57,791 in attendance.
I like how it says for America.
Yeah.
So deflating.
Not sure where the biggest SummerSlam would be. Probably Canada would be my guess. Let's see. I don't know. All I'm getting is results for the most recent one. But they added the caveat for America, so that implies that they had a bigger one elsewhere. I don't know, has SummerSlam been in Canada?
I don't know.
Oh, it's been held in Canada and England, apparently. Why do I not remember? I mean, obviously I wouldn't remember, but...
The 2021 SummerSlam in turn became the highest grossing SummerSlam event of all time.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean it was the highest attendance. I don't know. I'm not going to take the time to look all this up right now. It is almost midnight. A Clown Down Under interrupt, and Waller says that he can't believe they chose The Miz to be the host. Theory says that they have the worst NFL football team of all time in Cleveland. Michael Cole, Corey Graves, and Pat McAfee don't actually disagree. Lulz, neither do I. Grayson Waller says that they are called the Browns after all. What could that be in reference to?
Big poopy doo-doo heads.
Oh, okay. Theory says that all the people look like Jelly Roll. Not sure what he's trying to get at there.
They're so successful there.
Apparently. Waller says that he's not going to let Theory disrespect country music legend Jelly Roll like that, because Jelly Roll has done the impossible. Waller says he's the only man in history to make music worse than R-Truth. And MGK isn't much better. Truth says that they're in the home of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and he introduces Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, the Rock and Roll Express, who The Miz has to explain isn't the two people standing in front of them. Yeah. In this time, Jelly Roll has gotten in the ring behind Waller and Theory with a steel chair, and Truth asks that if that's Austin Theory and Grayson Waller, then who's that? And obviously he points to Jelly Roll standing behind him. Jelly Roll hits them both with the chair, and then he chokeslams Austin Theory before the three hit Austin Theory with a stereo 5-knuckle shuffle. And why does Jelly Roll have the best chokeslam in pro wrestling right now?
I don't know. Probably because he's a big boy.
Following this, we get another ad break, and it's announced the PLE Bash in Berlin is announced, and WWE got, let me get this correct here. I love the song, but the name, Ratatata, I think. Ratatata. Ratatata by Baby Metal and Electric Callboy for the theme for the Bash in Berlin.
Rada rada.
No. Ra-da-da-da-da-da.
Skip-a-ba-li-ba-ba. I'm the scat man.
But nah. Huge Electric Callboy fan. Been fortunate enough to see him live. Very energetic. Great show. Highly recommend. I also love this song. So as soon as it started playing, I was able to pick it out. I love having music that I actually enjoy as the themes. But that's not what we're here for, because it's time for the main event, the undisputed WWE Championship match, where Solo Sikoa, the self-proclaimed tribal chief, is looking to bring the title back to the bloodline, while the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes, looks to hold on to it. Solo comes out. Solo. Pun absolutely intended.
He's solo. Even though it's bloodline rules.
We then show on Cody, who's still in his bus, and he gets off the bus and gets with his dog, Pharaoh, as they walk towards Gorilla. Cody stops off.
It's heartbreaking to know that this is Pharaoh's last tour.
Yep. Cody stops off to see none other than the Enforcer, Arn Anderson, who tells Cody that he's still got friends in the locker room, and so does Cody. Still with me there? Like,
I'm here.
Arn Anderson saying that he still has friends in the locker room?
Yes.
Okay. Just making sure. And he tells Cody that they're on the way to aid him against the 4 pissed off Island boys. Man, we do not need 4 Island boys. 2 of them is bad enough.
I'm just an island boy. Didn't you hear? They're hosting WrestleMania this year.
I will not watch. You will be handling the recap.
We're just going to skip that PLE.
Solo.
We're just going to skip that one.
But I noted that it's time to assemble the Avengers once more, and that I still need LA Knight to ride through a portal on a giant Slim Jim. Needs to happen.
You better bring Macho Man with him.
Sure. But Cody and Solo lock up to start, and Cody tries a couple shoulder tackles before Solo hits Cody with one. The crowd chants for Roman. Hold your horses.
We get there when we get there.
Damn right. Cody goes for the drop down right hand, but Solo blocks it. Solo goes for the hip press, but Cody dodges it. They trade strikes, and Solo sends Cody over the top rope, but Cody skins the cat. Solo tries to clothesline him, but Cody drops the rope, so Solo goes over the top. Cody hits a disaster kick to Solo on the apron, followed by a S-dive. Cody goes back to the well once again, but Solo clocks him this time. And Cody regains control in the ring, though. However, Solo dodges the snap power slam and hits a spinning heel kick for a near fall. Solo hits a massive Samoan drop, followed by another massive Samoan drop. Solo goes for the spike, but Cody kicks his hand and hits a Cody cutter. Cody clotheslines Solo over the top rope and out of the ring, and he sends Solo into the Prime hydration station before using a bottle as a weapon. Cody goes up top, but Solo dodges. Cody hits the drop down right, followed by a bionic elbow, but Solo counters the disaster kick with a powerbomb for a near fall. Solo hits the hip press in the corner, and Cody goes for a pedigree, but Solo escapes. Cody dodges a clothesline, and Solo almost takes out the ref, but gets stopped in time, which means that it's not yet time for shenanigans. Cody rolls Solo up and gets a near fall out of it. Solo hits the spinning Solo and gets a near fall. He then hits a Samoan drop and gets another near fall. Solo puts Cody up in the Tree of Woe and hits a running headbutt. He then hits a second running headbutt. But when he goes for the third, Cody pulls himself up to dodge. Cody takes Solo down with a moonsault crossbody maneuver. But Solo ends up hitting a side slam for a near fall. Solo goes up top, but Cody meets him up there. However, Solo headbutts Cody down, but Cody's not one to stay down because he gets right back up there and hits a superplex. And during this prolonged double down, I was expecting music to hit or someone to show up, but that was not the case. They trade blows once again, and Cody fires up, but Solo catches him. Cody turns it around, though, and hits a crossroads before Tama Tonga and Tonga Loa attack Cody. And the botch machine that is Tonga Loa botches the attack, as instead of running Cody into the corner, he just runs him against the ropes at first.
That'll work.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one thing you can count on, or I should say there's three things that you can count on in life: death, taxes, and Tonga Loa botching moves.
True.
Tama Tonga hits a corner splash and sends Cody into a clothesline from Tonga Loa. They take Cody out and put Solo on top of him, but Cody still kicks out at 2. The Tongans continue their assault, but Kevin Owens' music hits, and KO makes the long run to the ring to take the fight to the bloodline. And he's probably wishing that he had that golf cart from WrestleMania.
Yep.
The numbers game becomes too much, though, but that's okay because there's more Avengers to come as Randy Orton's music hits, and he comes down to the ring, also probably wishing that the golf cart was there. Randy hits an RKO on Tonga Loa, and Kevin Owens hits a stunner on Tama Tonga. Randy hits the snap power slam on Solo, and Kevin Owens hits a swanton bomb. And then Cody Rhodes hits the crossroads, but Solo still manages to kick out at 2. Your boys are KO, chase the Tongans out of the stadium, but that still leaves Jacob Fatu lingering around somewhere. Cody throws a set of steps into the ring, and he hits Solo with the steps, yelling at Solo to go down, but Solo stays on his feet. Cody hits Solo again, but when he goes for a third, Solo spears him and gets a near fall out of it. Solo sets up the stairs in the corner, and he gets Cody set up against him for a hip press, but Cody dodges the hip press, which leads to Solo cracking the back of his head on the top of the stairs. Cody goes for the triple crossroads, but after he hits the second one, Jacob Fatu stops him from hitting the third. And I didn't mention it before, but much like the crowd was chanting when the Tongans came out, the chants of yeet were very strong, clearly calling for Jay to make the save. But there was someone better waiting in the wings to make the save.
With arms wide open.
Fatu hits a moonsault on Cody and drags Solo into the cover, but Cody kicks out at 2. Solo tells Fatu to put him through the table, so Jacob Fatu gets Cody to the outside and clears the announce table. He gets Cody up on the table, and the crowd chants for Roman, Still holding. Still holding. Gotta hold the line, boys.
Hold on, baby birds. We'll eat. We'll eat.
Fatu heads up top, and he puts Cody through the table with a splash, but it seems like he tweaked his ankle at the same time because he's now just crawling around on the ground, yelling, and Fatu tells Solo to finish it. Solo sends Cody back into the ring and hits a splash for 2, and Solo is in complete disbelief after Cody kicked out of that. Solo gets Cody up and looks to hit the Samoan spike, but Cody just collapses. His legs gave out on him. Cody hits a super kick and a Cody cutter, but Solo rolled away. And while we're in the double down, Roman Reigns music hits. You know what? It might not be fresh and new, but it sure is Roman Reigns.
It's Roman Reigns. Reigns.
You want to try that again?
It's Roman Reigns.
Instant goosebumps though when his music hit. Like,
oh yeah.
I literally had to pause it because I was like, there's no way that I'm getting goosebumps from Roman Reigns music hitting. Like, I knew it was coming. But still, just instant goosebumps. Roman makes his way to the ring, and I note that he's got a shirt on that's got OTC on it. I'd assume that that's going to be revealed to stand for Original Tribal Chief, or maybe even One Tribal Chief.
He does point at it at one point.
Yep. Near the end, he points it out. I'm guessing it's Original Tribal Chief.
It's the one that makes the most sense.
Right. Roman enters the ring, and he locks and loads the Superman punch, and it seems like he's aiming towards Cody when he gets it locked and loaded, but he takes Solo down with it. Roman sets up and nails Solo with a spear before turning to Cody. Cody is in absolute disbelief, but Roman gives him the nod before he leaves the ring as the crowd chants, "Thank you, Roman." Cody hits the crossroads while him and Roman stare each other down, and Cody picks up the win, still maintaining the stare down with Roman Reigns. Just kind of wrapping up. I still wish that Roman would have came back in the way that I predicted, which was everything's gone to shit. Solo and just Solo has Cody up for something, and you just hear Paul Heyman's voice come over the sound system with the classic, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Heyman," followed by obviously introducing his tribal chief.
I think we both wanted that.
I would have loved that. I think it would have been very poetic.
Oh, yeah.
The last thing that I got noted down here was that Solo doesn't seem very happy to see Roman back.
Cried like a little baby.
Yeah. It's wild. You'd think he'd be happy to see the tribal chief back.
His tribal chief.
But looking at our predictions, I predicted Cody Rhodes to win via a Roman Reigns return. So I'm getting the 1.5 points from that one, because at the same time, you only predicted Cody to win. But due to my failure to guess correctly elsewhere, I'm only getting 6 points out of this PLE. Meanwhile, you basically ran the table. You're getting 7.5 points.
Woo, woo, woo.
So that brings my total up to 27 points. And your total is 29.5, putting you 2.5 points ahead.
Woo, 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 woo.
The last thing that we really got to look at here is going into our overall ratings for the show. Just to recap, thus far, you have given Backlash 3 stars. You have given King and Queen of the Ring, Clash at the Castle, and Money in the Bank 3.5 stars. And you gave WrestleMania 4.5 stars. So what are you feeling for the biggest party of the summer?
Well, I think the best match of the night had to go between Drew and CM Punk. Just just everything going on. The Cody solo match was also very, very good and very well told. These bigger, I don't know. It's like they execute bigger PLEs better than they want to with the smaller ones, which I guess in hindsight you want them to, but you should have the same attitude for every PLE. Aside from the big botch that the Botch Master did, what's your opinion? I didn't think the crowd was too like as energetic, I guess, as I thought they would be until Roman Reigns returned.
Yeah, overall, I'd say the crowd was pretty mid.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna leave the crowd out of this one because the crowd would have hurt this score. I'm gonna give it a 4.
Okay. It's solid, very respectable. Looking back at my ratings, I've given Backlash and King and Queen of the Ring 3 stars. I've given Clash at the Castle and Money in the Bank 3.5 stars. And I gave WrestleMania 4 stars. So now the question is, do I think SummerSlam was as good as WrestleMania? I don't think I do.
And the answer is no, he says.
But do I think it was better than Clash at the Castle and Money in the Bank? Yes, I do.
The answer is yes.
So I think SummerSlam gets 4 stars here. And I think I got to bump WrestleMania up to 4.5.
Nice. We basically had the same score then. It wasn't better than WrestleMania, but it was better than the other PLEs.
Correct. We still differ on King and Queen of the Ring.
Yes.
But all in all, we're pretty much on the same page.
And that is our review.
That concludes the SummerSlam recap. Once again, I've been Dylan Graives. He's been John Sutton. This has been WrestleRecap. And if you want to support WrestleRecap, you can like, share, and subscribe. You can comment down below and let us know how we're doing. Hopefully you're okay with the fact that we're skipping some episodes. But we'll be back next week with the coverage of Monday Night Raw from this upcoming Monday. And then hopefully we can stay on track. I know we've had a bit of a rocky start, but we're getting there. We finally got ourselves into the groove of what days we were going to record on. It was just we were always recording from being behind. And that is a massive snowball to get out of, especially when you finally hit that mark and then you record and you only get one side's audio. So then you have to re-record that when you were supposed to be caught up, but now you're not caught up. And then you get a pay-per-view, or a PLE in this case. So then you're even more behind, and it's just a snowball. But if you make it this far in the video, thank you for bearing with us. We appreciate you, and we're hoping to keep this train moving. But until next time, you can click the video on your screen, or don't have to. You're free to do whatever you want, really. I can't make you do anything. I'm just a guy behind a computer. But we really do appreciate all the people that listen to us. And we hope that you continue to join us on this journey. But until next time, goodbye.